boredom. It's something we often associate with being a bad thing. That boredom is not good, that we should never be bored, that we should strive to be constantly entertained. And nowadays, it seems like it's harder than ever to be bored. It's so easy to find entertainment. I mean, I can just open my phone and instantly my mind is engaged. Instantly, I can go watch videos on TikTok, or I can go to YouTube, or I could call or text someone whenever I want to from wherever I want to. Nowadays, you can just easily avoid boredom. That's a good thing, right? Boredom is bad, so we shouldn't ever want to be bored, right? But what if being bored wasn't a bad thing? What if it was a necessary thing for your creative process? What if it actually benefited your health? What if it's good for you? Today, we're not going to talk about all the bad things about boredom. In fact, quite the opposite. We're going to be talking about the lost art of being bored. When I was younger, one of the biggest fears of mine, something I dreaded, I never wanted to experience, was boredom. But even when I was a kid, boredom led to some of the most fun moments I've had with my friends. If we were bored and didn't know what to do, we would grab lightsabers or Nerf swords. Does anyone remember Nerf swords? That was awesome. And then we would go duel. But those were fun moments. Being bored and those ideas, those imaginative ideas, don't have to end with childhood. Being bored helps sparks that creativity, that imagination, because your brain doesn't want to be bored. I read an article in research for this video on Time magazine about being bored. In the article, a senior psychologist, Sandy Mann, said that boredom is just a search for neural stimulation that isn't satisfied. And he goes on to say, if we can't find that stimulation, our mind will create it. Your brain doesn't want to be bored. It's constantly on, it's constantly moving. But when it's not being filled, it's gonna find something to fill it. That's gonna spark ideas. The workout video I posted, what if reading was a workout class? That was completely due to the fact that I was bored when I had that idea. I was sitting there after a workout, didn't really know what to do, maybe grabbing breakfast. I was like, you know what might be funny? What if there was like a workout instructor? Instead of instructing a class to lift weights or go on Peloton, what if it was to read? Instead of cadence, it was words per minute. All this stuff happened while I was bored. So to be honest, I totally agree with this quote that being bored forces your brain to create something that won't make you bored. You don't have to artificially stimulate yourself through a phone or a show or some other, form or fashion, whatever. Your ideas can come from being bored. And in fact, I would urge you that when you're bored, not to go to an electronic device, not because there's anything bad with them, but it often becomes the crutch we cling to when we're bored. I can't tell you how many times I pull this out and just scroll just a minute after turning it off. It honestly sickens me. I hate it. Mann also says, we are trying to swipe and scroll the boredom away, but in doing that, we're actually making ourselves more prone to boredom. Because every time we get our phone out, we're not allowing our mind to wander and solve our own boredom problems. Our tolerance for boredom just changes completely, and we need to more and more stop being bored. Boredom is good for you. It's not just good for creative process. You might be like, well, I'm not a creative person, or I don't make videos or something like that. That's your excuse to not be bored. It can also just help you come up with better things to do with your time. When I'm bored, one of my favorite things to do is go outside and shoot hoops or read a book. Made a video on that already. Being bored is not just something that creatives should do. It's something everyone should do. Now, I'm not saying you need to be bored 24/7, but allow yourself to. Set the phone down and be like, hey, let me just sit. And I know that terrifies me too, guys. I have ADHD. That terrifies me, the idea of sitting still and doing nothing. But it is important. You'll find something better to do than TikTok. And who knows, you might even enjoy it. Being bored also just helps with mental health. And honestly, just being able to set down your phone and be off screens or any other distractions or stressors in your life is it's just always good for the mind to relax. We as humans were not made to go 24/7. We're meant to rest. Rest is also not a bad thing. So just slow down. So that's my challenge, just slow down a little bit. It is okay to be bored. Let your brain fill in the gaps that boredom brings. And trust me, you'll find a better way to entertain yourself than your phone. But that's all for me. Get bored, people. If this video bored you, good. I don't know. Enjoy being bored. And until next time, peace out, bro skillets.
That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, but I get away. Feels like it's been a